Backseat Drivers time. Good evening and welcome to Backseat Drivers 2023, the first edition. We're back. Don't be worried or whatever. The other guys are here. Just a quick rundown of the news we'll be talking about tonight. Obviously, some of this is quite old news now. We got Mick Schumacher is now at Mercedes as the reserve driver. McLaren can use him. FIA has opened expressions of interest for any new teams entering. Andretti Cadillac thing going on. There's a bit of talk about some other teams, but we'll get into that. James Vowles has moved across from Mercedes to Williams as the team principal. He was the guy on Hamilton's radio. Toro Rosso and their Ford deal for 2026. And no double points at the Indy 500 anymore. But we'll get into that more with the extra people on the panel. As let's bring them online, and a big welcome to 2023. Fudd.
Hi.
For some reason, you're irregular. Is that something to do with your haircut, or
it's
lack thereof?
Just my daily routines, you know.
or is that because we're bringing on Matthew, who is apparently regular?
Yep,
so
every morning.
Yeah. And the Snapchats tell us so. And finally, the super sub is here for tonight. Boovy, welcome to 2023.
G'day, guys. G'day, everybody.
So we've got some pre-recorded stuff coming up as well that me and Boovy have done. So that's something to get excited about. But I suppose the big talking point in the off-season, shall we start off Toro Rosso and their Ford deal? Or maybe Red Bull with their Ford deal.
Red Bull, I thought.
Yeah. We'll go with Red Bull.
Well.
Somebody start off. Well, it's actually good for the sport that Ford's actually coming back to F1, being out for so long.
Yeah, even if it is a bit of a branding exercise kind of thing, it's not a full-on Ford. It's a Red Bull powertrain's kind of badged as a Ford.
I think Ford was still going to provide engineers and that for it as well to help out with improving the engine as well. So it'll be branded Ford, but it'll be more Red Bull, as you said.
Yeah. But it's good to see them getting some money, I suppose, rather than it just being a Red Bull powertrain. Which we're seeing more because we have, for 2026 now, we've got Ferrari, Mercedes, Renault, and obviously the Red Bull powertrains, Ford. Audi will be coming in with an engine, and there is talk that Honda wants to stick around. So now we're up to 6.
Yeah.
Which is actually
potentially, yeah. Which it does add a bit of variation in it. Part of me, though, is a good thing because someone's got to lose.
Yeah.
It's always part of it.
I'd like to point out it'll probably be Lewis. Lewis will lose. He will lose somehow. He will whinge and he will complain. I'm predicting this.
According to my predictions, Lewis won't be around that long.
Oh, you reckon halfway? He'll still complain.
No.
He'll be a commentator and he'll just start telling people about how he was screwed over in 2021.
And
he actually hasn't won a race since then either.
Yeah, he hasn't.
Yeah.
The 300 curse.
Yeah.
No drivers won a race.
Well, he hasn't. He's getting paid a fair bit of money. He hasn't won a race yet. You think he may get kicked out for what's his name?
Who's going to come in?
Mick Schumacher.
Mick Schumacher.
Yeah. I forgot his name already. It's unforgettable.
Most people have forgotten who he was.
Yeah, some good sportsman guy's son or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, honestly, if I was him, I would have changed my surname and I would have just turned up as Mick Jones.
Yeah.
Well, he did when he started racing. He ran under his mother's maiden name.
Yeah, I would have done that.
Yeah, he was entered in. I'm trying to remember. Anyway.
I would treat it like a F1 game that didn't have the licensing rights to his name and just call him Mick Moto Racer, and then no one would question it. And then if anyone asks, you look like a famous guy, and you're like, nah, my dad's an accountant. Mum's a baker. I just came into this sport because I like the wheels.
So
he's cursed now.
Well, what did everyone make of testing? Anyone think anything good happened?
I have questions
Aston Martin?
about testing, right, Rob?
Yeah.
Basically, it's I'm guessing because I never really watched testing before until like this year, but it's basically everyone turns up on the first day of school and they sort of want to show off their new toys, but they sort of don't want to show them off because then everyone will know, oh, Dave's got all the new cool toys. So you sort of want to be like, check out my cool car. It's pretty cool, but not that cool. So, anything I do this year is going to be nothing short of a miracle because let's be honest, my car barely has enough wheels to go around, but I'm really cool. So, keep the sponsors and the team happy, but also tell the rest of the team this car barely makes it up a hill.
Yeah.
That pretty much sums it up.
That's
Except
pretty much
when you're Austin Martin, and by the looks of it, it's just like, no, we're really good this year.
yeah.
And McLaren suck, and they've tried either way too hard. And Dan looks like a genius now, who's been paid $18 million to watch a team collapse. and Mark Webber's probably going to be cursing at what's his best mate, Alonso, that he screwed him over in the steel, and it was all his fault.
Yeah.
Because with the racing,
Look at Mr. Aston Martin here, though.
No. That's I'm on team Papa Stroll, not. There's a difference.
Feel like this is very biased tonight from you.
Yes.
What about Junior Stroll not making the first race?
Is it
not making it?
Confirmed?
He's never going to make it, Dave.
Yeah, it looks like it. I think so because
No,
they were talking
Dave,
about in terms
I
of
think Papa
injuries.
Stroll sent some mates over and broke his legs. He's never driving again.
Put a twig through the spoke.
Yeah, someone just went up to him and they look over there and they've kneecapped him. And now his dad's like, oh, good, now I can get him out of the contract because he technically, he's injured and can't race. Also, don't F1 drivers have like clauses that they can't do stupid activities like that?
Yeah,
But it was a cycling accident though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But don't they have like clauses that, was it just regular?
It was just a regular cycling.
Yeah, I know Alonso got hit by a car. I think that was when he was coming back with Renault, and because it broke his jaw and stuff.
Okay.
But he was like riding through a car park or something, and he got nailed.
Jeez.
I mean, it hints in the name, Dave. It's a car park. That's where cars live.
Well, yeah.
Lance is actually racing.
Is he?
What?
Yeah, they just released an announcement that he'll be participating in
Is this
Bahrain
breaking
Grand Prix
news?
Yeah. Breaking
wow.
news.
Breaking news.
You heard it here first.
We need a sound effect for this.
Ring.
Yeah.
Notification. Yep, that's it.
Don't worry, we've got sound effects coming up.
Oh, nice.
Dave, I have more questions about testing.
Okay.
I feel like I'm actually qualified to talk about testing because, that's what they pay me to do. So if you, over the holidays, you build up a fancy car, right?
Yep.
And you can only test it in the wind tunnel, or if you're Red Bull, less wind tunnel time because you ate too much food in the catering van. But you can't drive it until you get to Bahrain.
Yeah, so they had the filming days where they shake the cars down.
Yeah, get an hour to make sure it doesn't blow up.
Yep.
I think it's like 100 kilometers, I think. You're allowed
something
to do.
like that.
Yeah,
No, it's 100 Ks
Yeah.
for the filming stuff.
I'm pretty sure they could do 100 Ks in an hour.
Easily.
You'd hope so.
Let's do the maths.
Then I'd be worried.
They could do it in half an hour if they wanted to.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, it depends on how much filming they're doing.
Yeah, true.
How much film Netflix needs?
Yep.
Yeah, well, Netflix wouldn't be there for that, I wouldn't have thought.
Nah, not really.
Yeah,
I mean, they
Because
were for
it's not-
season 5 for testing.
there's no drama. Yeah, that's a testing, though.
Oh, this
So-
is season before
Yeah,
that.
so but, I think all of them had a shakedown run, and then they had 3 days in Bahrain.
And so that's 3 days of testing. That's when you can do whatever you like, muck around, adjust
Yep.
your porpoising issues and
Yeah.
Yep.
your pods.
Basically.
It just seems like a very short amount of time for testing for such a very, very dangerous and complex system.
This is, other than 2021, which was 3 days as well, this is the shortest amount they've ever had.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when they started bringing this in, I think they might have had 3 4-day tests, and then it's gradually been scaled back to last year. It was 2 3-day tests, and then because 2021 the cars were essentially 2020's cars carried over, and then this year, because they're back to essentially kind of carry over rule set, they've gone back to the single 3-day test to
Does this mean
reduce cost.
Does this mean it'll get to a point where they won't do any testing and like
Nah, I
Well,
think they'll still do
only
testing.
racing?
Yeah, but you do wonder though if they'll say go to 2 days next year or something.
Okay.
Which
During COVID season, NASCAR didn't even do practice or qualifying. I think they just rocked up, jumped in the cars, and raced.
But were there any changes between the years though?
I can't remember.
It's NASCAR. It doesn't.
It's NASCAR. The only big change they did is they went from carby to fuel injection.
Yeah, well, they also went from 5 wheel nuts to 1.
Oh, they got the center lock nut.
Yeah. Now,
Make it faster, Matt.
now they can count them all.
Wait a minute. Does that mean there was a time when F1 would have had 5? Ferrari would have been screwed. That's just more counting and numbers to stuff up.
That's why they didn't do pit stops back then.
Exactly.
Too
Tires would
complicated.
last the whole race.
Yeah. They haven't always had pit stops.
No.
during
You're
the race
telling me
for
that
tyres.
scene in Ford versus Ferrari is actually legitimate, where they pretend to get a nut and make it look like Ferrari's forgotten to put a bolt in.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember that scene.
I take it this season we're not watching driving movies then, because Dave's already behind.
No, I think we can tick that one off the list.
It didn't run so well last year, did it?
No.
I mean, I did my homework. I did extra movies as well.
Did you?
I mean, I did, and then no one told me to stop, so I kept going.
He's still watching.
That's
I
better.
am.
Sorry, guys, I had the wrong background. Now I've got the right background.
Beautiful. I've got my fancy sheet blind background.
I have this fancy light that I fixed over the holidays.
Nice.
Eagle-eyed viewers will notice this lamp is now different.
It's slightly brighter.
Yes.
It is a lot better.
It's 54,000 Kelvin.
Or is
Same
or is
light, different lampshade.
Yeah.
Ah.
A lot of if there's any electricians, do not look at it too closely.
I'm wearing my lampshade on my head.
So do we want to run through a bit of a prediction of each team for the year?
Yes.
Yeah, well, why not?
Yeah.
Because I will be 100% correct. Mark my words.
So we'll start off with the who's going to end up at the back?
Ooh.
Are we going
Ooh.
Williams again, or
I mean, why
wanna
would
go
they? Why
Williams.
would they change what works for them? Just being the back.
Exactly.
So we'll start off there.
I'm-
Yeah, is Logan going to do anything?
Nope.
Not much.
don't think he
Logan's
did
going to
that
be
great in
stolen
F2.
again. Logan's going to be taken away like little Lewis Hamilton, and he's going to do well at Williams, and then a bigger I don't know, McLaren will get rid of someone and then he'll move across.
You reckon? How many years was Logan in F2
2
without
or 3.
winning the championship? Oh, so he wasn't there. Like Latifi was there for about
No.
14 years.
No. Yeah, I think it was
Before
only
he
2.
Legend says that Latifi's gone back there, but no one cares, so they don't even know he's there.
Yeah. We can ask the F2 guy and fact checker.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
2 seasons.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's not too bad because he was third last year, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
So 2 seasons. 2021, 2022.
So that's not a terrible record.
No.
It's not a good
called
record.
this we should have called
wasn't
this the
amazing.
Logan Sargent. Because he's number 2 this year. Hello?
I think I'm going with Williams will do absolutely nothing, and they will do nothing memorable, and not much will happen.
Okay.
In fact, I feel like that's the team that should be bought out by Mr. Andretti.
Yeah. I'd
Williams.
Like or I'd like them to go in partnership with Porsche.
Andretti Porsche.
Yeah.
Williams
Or-
Porsche.
Oh, Williams Porsche. Yeah.
Well, they had the Williams tag car years ago, which was a Porsche engine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it'd be nice.
I feel like Williams
together.
is the team just to hold the back.
Yeah. I got a feeling it's going to be AlphaTauri.
You reckon?
You
I was
reckon?
thinking. I reckon that. In terms of, I reckon still probably Williams at the back, but McLaren, I don't see a lot. I see them dropping a few places this year.
Yeah.
Just
I
the way
don't see them. I don't see them getting in the top 8. They're at the back. They're going to be chilling with
Williams.
Williams and
They'll be just
Well,
rubbing their
Haas-
hands together for that next Honda deal
Could be that.
to go terribly, terribly wrong
Yeah.
because they have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Who
'Cause
Honda?
They sold because they
Oh,
sold
yeah,
the
they
good
would.
engine to Red Bull.
Hmm.
What happens
So
if
they
all
have
these
to-
what happens if all these teams are sandbagging apart from Red Bull? Red
Well,
Bull's at the back.
there's always that.
Yeah.
Rob. I don't think Williams are good enough to sandbag a shit car. I think what they've done is much like Alpine. They're probably going, "Hey guys, let's just pretend our shit car's not really shit, and it will take them a couple of rounds to realize we're actually shit." They're going to be at the back, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh, maybe Williams are better this year." And then 2 rounds in, everyone will be like, "Nah, they're shit." Anyway, back to racing. There's only 9 teams in the competition now. We don't even need to worry about old, backmarker Williams. What's the flag they wave when you've got to let people through?
The blue flag.
Yeah, Williams should just have a blue flag on the back of their car, just so everyone
Was that why
knows.
their car's blue?
Yeah.
Yeah, so people know to overtake them. Yeah, because Williams have never obviously had cars in front of them, so they don't know what it's like. They're just used to cars coming from around and then overtaking them, for lapping them multiple times. They should just have a little blue flag with a W on it.
You can tell Matt didn't watch F1 in the 90s.
No, he
I
didn't.
don't know. I know of them now, but nowadays they're garbage because their old owner, no longer with us.
Well, Red Bull's owner's no longer with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they have secret catering money, Rob.
All the Red Bulls, yeah.
Yeah.
all the
They should just take the money away from
Ninja Spice
AlphaTauri.
said, he ticked the box wrong. Where it said, "How much do your eggs cost? $1 or $5 million?" He's ticked the $10 million one and went, "No, not again."
Oops.
Oopsie.
So, obviously, Williams is going to be pretty ordinary. Alex Albon will win that battle.
Yep.
Wait,
Everyone agrees?
yeah. That's not really a hard
Yeah.
competition, though.
Yeah.
Dave. That's like me versus a small child.
AlphaTauri then, De Vries versus Sonoda.
My money's on
Debris.
Yuki.
Yuki's going to get angrier and angrier and plow it into a wall multiple times.
This is going to be one of the closer teammate battles, I reckon, this year.
I reckon it'll probably be even by the end of the year.
No, I reckon it'll blow out because Yuki will be under too much pressure, and he'll be yelling too much to tell people to piss off. And as he's saying that, slams into a tire.
Well, it is probably a make or break year for Yuki.
Yeah.
If he gets beaten by DeVries, essentially, there's no point in having him there.
No, there isn't.
Yeah, they don't need to hold on to him for Honda anymore.
He can go and join Gasly at Alpine.
At Alpine?
Yeah,
No, because they've got Ocon on there for the 45-year contract or whatever they ridiculously signed him to.
You can't break up that bromance.
Well, yeah, we'll get into the Alpine bromance as we get further along.
Yep.
Probably the next one to talk about Haas.
My new favourite
battle.
Your new favourite team, what?
My new favourite team, their team principal.
Because of Gunther.
Gunther is... he just seems more charismatic than the other angry old white men that run the teams.
You've been sucked in by Drive to Survive.
Oh, no, I most definitely have, Rob, but they've obviously tried to paint him in a much better light, even though they're trying to paint Christian Horner in a nicer light. But he also just comes off as a prick as well. It's just two old men yelling at each other over a fence. It's like they've both got the nicest house, and they've got a hedge in the middle, and every so often, Toto comes along and pulls out a bit of his hedge, and then Christian Horner comes over and goes, "Oh, Toto's getting angry because my hedge is better than yours. Go piss off." And then they both sit down and drink tea and complain about irritable bowel syndrome or something because they're just old, whingy men.
Sit the Metamucil together.
Yeah. I genuinely think at the end of all of this, they are going to become best friends and they'll laugh about the 10 or 15 years that they just yelled at each other over the stupidest things. When they could have been testing wine together like Ferrari and Haas does. That's a beautiful friendship.
Yeah.
Is that where they're cruising along in the Fiat or whatever together?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't watched it yet. I've only seen the memes.
Oh, I plowed through the whole thing in a day and a half, Dave. I did it for this. I have thoughts for later.
Is it that good?
It's pretty incredible for certain things that I noticed.
Okay.
Well, we'll get into that later when we've
That's
got
the
a
plus
proper,
40.
a sting for 40 minutes in when we.
Oh, nice.
We need to hurry up then because we're going to get there in no time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Haas, who's going to win the Haas battle?
Magnussen.
Really?
Yeah.
You going to Hulkenberg?
We're going to go Hulkenberg.
No,
Okay.
say it properly. Say it properly.
Hulkenberg.
No, Dave, you say it properly.
Hulkenberg.
I even gave Dave a soundbite so we can use it throughout the year when he gets points.
I haven't entered that one yet, so
Dave,
when he gets points.
Anytime
When he gets points. If he gets
you got to
points.
play that.
Yeah. Aston Martin. I'm just going through reverse championship order from last year.
Okay.
I am
Alonso.
actually really hoping that they're a dark horse.
Yeah.
Though this year.
Yeah. I'm going to put my
I'm
money on it.
hoping that Stroll
they did
does
well.
nothing.
And Alonso has absolutely everything.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that Papa Stroll has to get rid of him because the gap is so obvious and just how useless he really is. He's like, "Son, we need to have a talk." And he sits him down and he goes, "I love you as a son, but I have a new favorite son, and he's a 50-year-old rookie, and I call him my son, and and you're gonna go."
Williams hung on to Latifi for far too long, so
Yeah, but that was money related.
Did they?
Yeah,
They really should have him in again.
Aston is hanging on to Stroll for a ridiculously long time.
I'm replacing him with another Canadian.
Related.
I found a new Canadian.
Jacques Villeneuve.
Oh,
I think he's potting around in a garden.
this world champion will make Lance Stroll look good.
Yeah. I think Alonso is going to make him look very stupid.
I
More
reckon.
so than usual.
Well, he's got a good excuse, though, because he's got busted wrists.
Yeah, but
So-
if you've got busted wrist and you can't drive, Dave, it's time to go. Put him out to pasture.
Exactly. Let
Go
Drogovic race.
run a maple farm in Canada somewhere, or,
Whatever those Canadians do.
whatever he does,
Maple
become a
syrup.
mounted
Flappy heads.
Canadian and solve crime.
What's Latifi doing this year?
I
I don't
know.
know. Rob's stalking him.
Yeah.
He should
That's
know.
Rob stalking him. He'll know. He'll tell us later.
That's later on.
Okay. All right. We'll leave it at that then. Okay.
That's a surprise.
Alpha Romeo Sauber Audi
Alpha
Ferrari.
Romeo Bravo
Delta.
Checo.
My money's on
But-
Joe.
Really?
You reckon Joe's going to get on
No.
top of Bottas?
Yeah.
Everyone's
my
favourite
favourite
Australian in the field.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I'm
I
going
don't
for our
like
favourite.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm Team Bottas all the way.
Team
Yeah,
BB.
Bottas. Again, that's going to be another example of an older person making a young child look silly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do they could potentially be the slowest car as well?
They could be.
They're going to be second last, just above
Just
Williams
above Williams.
and below McLaren.
So what? Haas is moving up to seventh then?
Oh, Haas will move up a bit because the power of Gunther compels the car to do well. Because he just wants points, Boovy.
Okay, fair enough.
He's just a happy little Italian man.
He's a
who
simple
just wants
man.
his coffee.
Fair enough. He just wants points.
He's not Italian,
He's got dual citizenship.
has he? With,
Yeah.
What's
Which
his
country?
other one?
America, Italy.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, but originally they're not, because he's American, isn't he? But he's
He's
originally from
Italian,
somewhere
but
else.
he lives in America.
Okay.
I thought they were originally somewhere more Eastern European. Anyway,
No, I thought that too. That's why he's mates with old strategy chief, who's now just vineyard owner.
Yeah, he's Italian.
oh, there we
I
go.
don't know why you doubted me. I've watched
Drive to Survive.
Live, and I spent
got-
time on Wikipedia.
Facts.
Hey, Matt. It says it in my name. Fact checker. Yeah, I have to check him.
McLaren.
Oh, they're going to suck. Oh, God, they'll suck.
You're gonna-
They're going to suck so hard.
I don't think they're going to be that bad.
Nah,
I
they're
reckon
going to
they are.
suck.
They're
I
gonna
think
drop a
there's
bit.
just been too much hype around it.
They've
I-
definitely got the potential, though, to turn it around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
think
Having
so.
said that, though, they have not fixed the car in the last few years.
No, they haven't.
Dave,
it's
I've got
coming.
a great joke.
Yeah.
McLaren have got a new sponsor. It's Dyson. For how much they suck. Yeah.
Are we recording this?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah. I just want to play this back at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So with this, out of the two drivers, who do you think?
Oh, Norris.
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 Yeah.
Sadly, it'll be Norris
Yeah.
unless it turns out that the car, if it turns out the car is just generally shit and no one can drive it, and Norris is getting more points purely on experience.
Yep.
Or Aussie gets it because it turns out the car is actually good, and he's just very good at driving it. But then it turns out Dan was pretty shit at driving
A shit car.
an orange car.
I'm just
Well-
going to put it out there and say Dan was just shit at driving an orange car.
I think
Yeah.
so. Too.
Potentially.
Because around Spain, we'll find out how good Dan is.
Yeah.
Oh, is that when it's
Wait.
happening? Mark it in the calendar, everybody. Spain.
Spain.
Right?
I was saying mid-year. I was saying.
I said Spain will be Perez's last race.
round 8. That'll be
I
round 8.
said Dan he'll get a drive in Las Vegas. Even if Checo will come down with some mysterious illness.
After partying too hard at his home Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you reckon Dan might get a gig as the pace car driver at Las Vegas?
Oh,
Ooh.
that'd be pretty cool.
'Cause
I
they'd probably
can't-
not AMG.
No, probably not.
In reality land, though, that probably wouldn't happen because it's not as straightforward as just going out and cruising around in a car.
Exactly. No,
it would be cool to see, but they probably wouldn't approve of him like doing donuts while he's supposed to be leading the field.
What if he does it safely though, Dave? A safety donut.
So. Safety
well,
donut.
Maybe at the end of the race.
Have a look at the comments about the donuts Shane Van Gisbergen did in Adelaide last year on Facebook and stuff, and see how safe people think it is.
Oh.
Alpine.
Gasly.
Ocon.
Nah, I'm going Gasly.
I think Gasly, and it will implode.
There will be something going on there.
I hope it implodes.
Yeah, well, it'll be good.
Well, supposedly they were good friends, but it was something to do with their families is why they don't like each other.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
It wasn't something to do with those two themselves. It was some family.
Maybe we need some investigation.
Maybe
of infighting.
Yeah.
But I think that will be a close battle between them.
Yeah, it will be.
I don't think it's.
It'll be one of the closer ones, I think, because I think a lot of the other ones, there's going to be a fair gap between
who's winning,
most of the other teams.
Well, some closer than others.
I reckon for sure.
We're going to discuss two close ones and then one chasm coming up. Mercedes.
Not going to be close. George.
You reckon George is going to
I reckon George will start now showing that he's going to start getting a bigger gap, and he's going to walk around with massive testicles, and it's going to cost him, but I reckon he'll end up with about a 50-point gap on.
Do you think he will stuff the race suit, or will they genuinely grow really big?
I think he'll win a race early on, and they will grow to the size of two basketballs. And it won't fit in the car.
So it won't be I'm just going to stuff down there to psych out the other guys.
There'll be a couple of oranges down there.
Yeah.
But he'll go up to Lewis and go, "Hey, Lewis, do you see this? This is my Melbourne. I got a podium at Melbourne. What did you get? Oh, nothing. Oh, that's a shame. I'm Toto's favourite this year."
Do we think they were sandbagging excessively? Or are they genuinely a bit back again?
I reckon they're back again.
They've hammered it up for the TV and people.
Get the excitement.
That way, like you said, you can make an excuse like, "Oh, we're driving with a car. It's not very good. During testing, we only had 3 tires. I feel sorry for me." Also, my carbon footprint's a lot less so I'm better than everyone anyway.
I got a fuel-efficient private jet.
Yeah.
And I'm not eating meat anymore.
It's a hybrid.
Runs on biodiesel and my smugness.
Ferrari.
Ooh,
this will be close.
This is a close
one.
I'm going Carlos.
I'm joining
I
you,
like
Rob.
Carlos more, but I feel like Leclerc will do better.
Carlos pretty much spent the last few months training, whereas Leclerc was playing golf and.
Yeah, but I think he's just naturally more talented. He's one of these people that can just turn up on the day and still finish on the podium. And then at the end of the race, he's like, "Oh, I just drove around and I just won. Oh, whoopsie." Where Carlos seems to have to work a lot harder.
That's if he finishes, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's got to finish.
There may be a wall in the way.
Or a Ferrari. Or a strategy that doesn't work out.
Or an Apex, or a pit crew, or a team boss that doesn't listen to you. I mean, there's a lot of factors there, Rob, that are holding Ferrari back. Basically,
although he's got a team boss now that will listen to him.
The team boss is like his best friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, because they've got the new team boss now, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah, the magic savior.
Yeah.
Apparently.
All will be amazing now.
Yes.
We'll see what happens.
No. They will make more mistakes now because don't they have to learn? I'm assuming the new team boss has to learn all the plays, right? Like strategies.
Well, he doesn't really call the strategy, and that's probably been the big problem. Is that they obviously had issues in the strategy department,
Yep.
and because they were trying to do that Mercedes no blame culture thing, then they were no one's at fault kind of thing. But that's fine, but you've still got to find what the issue is and fix it. Yeah. We're not going to scapegoat someone, but if there's an issue, we've still got to. Whereas I think they were like, no one's ever at fault for anything. We're all good, and not quite. It did. Google Translate from English to Italian didn't quite get there on that no blame culture kind of thing. So I think that's probably what Vasseur will bring in, actual correcting errors.
Yeah,
but that'll take time to filter through. Like they've got a new person in the strategy role, we've got new processes.
So at least a season, or maybe half a season.
Half a season.
Well, anything really at the start of the year, that's all Bonotto work kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, the car is essentially like a Bonotto car that filters through. Operationally wise, Vasseur's probably going to be later on in the season, where you'll see changes, and then it will be next year when you see more of the changes car wise. So
that being said, I still reckon they'll finish second.
Yeah. Well, it's between them and Mercedes, I think. But you could have a Ferrari and Mercedes battle for the constructors.
You could.
Nah.
Red Bull's a one-car team.
Yeah.
Well, for the first few rounds, and then they'll have two shots in the barrel.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's hire another guy who can't drive anymore.
I reckon Rob's going to love the day when they announce Dan is the second driver for Red Bull. He's just going to drink all day.
No, I'll be happy for him.
I feel like you'll be happy, but muttering under your breath as Jack Daniels is consumed at an alarming rate.
Out of my shoe.
I hate it when Dave's right.
Rob, if Dan gets announced to drive, you have to do a shoey the next podcast.
Okay. I'm going to have to put a camera outside, though.
We can do a live one, Rob. I could come to your house and we could film it.
Dan's back.
Dan's back. You got to do a shoey.
Shoey time.
Right, done.
Yep. You heard it here.
We're going to wait.
So, Red Bull,
Max,
and more Max.
Yep.
Well,
Max, Super Max.
Dave, here's my question: who scores more points, Checo or Dan?
Well, under my theory, Checo's only going to be there for about 4 rounds out of the 36 we've got this year. So
you'll have 8 actually.
So Perez will have more points.
Probably.
How many did Dan get last year? He got in the double digits.
There's
he had a whole
no way
37.
that's last year. That was in the McLaren.
Yeah.
That was in the orange car.
He's going to be back in the blue.
Lando had 122.
How many wins in the Red Bull? 6?
I can't remember.
Somewhere around that.
Yeah.
6, because he got one with Renault and one with McLaren. He's had 8, right?
No, he only got on the podium with Renault.
Maybe it's 7.
It wasn't a win. It's 7.
He didn't get a win.
See, Rob, he's got proven form with Red Bull.
How many times has Lando Norris won a Grand Prix?
Pastor Maldonado won a race as well.
Yeah, Dan's won 7.
Yeah.
And Lando's won none.
And did Lando make a fat American get a tattoo? No, he did not.
He
But
made a point. How do you know he hasn't? I'm sure I could find a fat American with a Lando tattoo. I'm just going to find one American with a Lando tattoo, and I reckon there's a good chance I'll be fat.
Tattoo.
That's racist.
Yeah, sorry, all my American friends.
There we go.
Dan's won 8.
8.
Oh, you won 7 at
Red Bull.
No, 7.
7.
7 at Red Bull. 1
sorry,
at
Max, I
McLaren.
didn't read the comments.
So Max is.
I get all my news from Max now.
Max may be getting a Guernsey as fact checker next week.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm willing to sub out. I'm a sub anyway. I only joining for the first one, and then I'll be out.
Dave,
what's your F2 knowledge like, Max?
I think Bobby's been Checoed already one race in.
I know.
By Max.
Poor Checo.
Yeah.
Matt, are you watching the Ball and Stick?
No.
Why not? We've got this, I know. I just had a quick look. All right, let's get back to F1.
I think you should hand out some bands there, Dave.
Oh, you can. Go for it. 5 seconds.
I didn't.
That's what he wants.
Yeah. All right.
Do we go to one of the pre-recorded segments?
I think it's time to show our professionalism with pre-recorded footage.
Yeah,
all right.
Exactly.
Well,
all right. I know you're going to watch it.
I'm in trouble here.
How long is it, Bovey?
It's about
I've got to play my one because I haven't got Boovies here on the upload. So let's play mine, and then we'll go into Boovies one when I load it up. Dave's rant of the week. This week, my rant is about the weight of the cars. Recently, this has been, well, over the last few years, really, the F1 cars have just got fatter and fatter and fatter. And this has been a topic that gets brought up, of course, every year as the cars seem to get heavier and heavier. I've heard some commentators complaining because the cars are getting blacker and blacker because they're running in raw carbon to save weight on the paint of the car. Apparently, up to 6 kilos of weight is in the paint of the car. And someone suggested that they should just increase the weight limit by 6 kilos so everyone could paint the car properly. This is ridiculous because the teams would, instead of painting the car properly, they would just put ballast somewhere. It wouldn't save anything. You would still get these black paint jobs because F1 engineers being F1 engineers, they would just find a way to put the ballast somewhere rather than, practicality of putting a paint job on the cars. What I would do is actually drop the minimum weight by at least 50 kilos. The engineers will find a way to make the cars lighter. They'll work it out. And all of a sudden, in a year's time, say, everyone will be running ballast again. And it's just the way F1 works. If they've got the weight there, they'll find a way. They were overweight at the start of last year, and then most of the teams were running ballast by the end of the year. They will find a way. If you tell them you've got to drop 50 kilos, they'll find a way to do it. It's not rocket science, people. We should not be increasing the weight of these cars anymore. That brings in its own safety issues. Who cares if they're running around in matte carbon paint jobs? Just reduce the weight. Do not increase it to put a paint job on the car because they will not put a paint job on the car if they don't have to. The engineers being engineers, they'd take all the stickers off the cars as well because that would save weight and just put ballast somewhere to make the car perform better. That's all they care about. They don't care about whether the car looks pretty or not. There we go. Anyone have any other thoughts on that?
I agree with that.
I thought they were planning on getting the cars lighter and smaller in 2026 or 2028.
Yeah, they are.
Something.
No, 2026.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
But then this year, people have been discussing that we should increase the weight limit again.
No, every year they should drop it another 20 kilos.
Yeah.
But the tyres are 2 kilos heavier this year.
Yeah. Shave some off the wheels or something. Cut the springs.
Well, they're running 18s at the moment. What springs?
Why don't they just run 13s? They're the best type of tyres. Everyone knows they're the cheapest.
Well, they used to.
Yeah.
And then last year we had to go to 18s because they're more representative.
Well, it's certainly going to have to go to like 24s so they're representative of SUVs.
Well, to fit in with the American market. Yeah.
But then you have no sidewall at all.
I hear Cummins is coming into Formula One for the American market.
So we're going to see black soot everywhere.
Yeah.
And F-150 versus Cummins. Battle of the trucks.
Oh yeah.
I think we asked this before, Dave, but what happened to super trucks?
They're around, I think.
Which ones?
The ones that used to, I think they used to race around Albert Park and go off like man-made jumps every so often.
The stadium super trucks.
They mean stadium trucks.
Jumpy trucks.
Jumpy trucks. I don't know the technical name was jumpy truck. Sorry, my bad.
There were some issues with the safety here that they wouldn't let them race.
I thought the real issue was the guy who run it, Robbie.
Robbie Truck.
Robbie Gordon.
Yeah, because he did a burnout in Darwin in one of them on the street.
Yeah, they'd kind of got over that. He wasn't allowed to. There was something with him. He wasn't
allowed to race.
Not being allowed to.
Yeah.
Or even come into the country, possibly.
Yeah, and then
they did have them here for a while. But then there was an accident in Perth, I think, and they took away the license for them to run.
Yeah.
And then they said, the jumps can only be like,
So I was watching them I was watching them for years. And they used to actually do them on dirt tracks. So they were on dirt tracks and then dirt and bitumen tracks. And it was so much more entertaining on those kind of tracks. And then they started going to race meets, and then now it's just all around racetracks. It just doesn't seem to be as exciting.
Yep. No. It's what a spectacular thing for the kids in between the proper racing.
Yeah.
Which they are fun to watch.
Yeah. There is some good racing in them though. Like there's a lot more passing than F1. I remember one race. There was Robbie Gordon and one of the young guys in there, and I reckon they passed each other about 5 times on the last lap.
And it was all genuine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There would have been no scripting.
No. No, Mikey. No.
No, Mikey. No.
Still my favourite soundbite of the entire F1.
Oh yeah.
We're waiting for the.
Don't worry. The mega mix. I sent you guys the preview of my Mikey No Super Mix.
Yes.
Are we ready for Boovy's F2 report?
Yeah.
I think we are.
Let's go.
Let's learn together.
Boovy's F2 report.
Reading up on it, there's not really much information on regards to who did what, that sort of thing. They didn't even actually broadcast any other testing, so I couldn't even watch and see who the cars were, who was driving what car. So it was basically a lot of reading. So yeah, the 3 days of testing was during the time I actually had an operation, so that didn't really help either too. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how we go. Just reading up on some reports, and we'll go from there. So day 1, there was the Frenchman from Grand Prix, Theo Pourchaire, I think that's his name. He was who had best times in both session 1 and session 2 on day 1. He was the fastest driver. He should be looking like he should be in the mix for the championships with Drogovic now, because he was champion last year, and that was a lot of issues there. So hopefully we should see some good season 2 there. Two TAM drivers, Ayumi Isawa and Arthur Leclerc also did fairly well during that session as well. And also Ralph Bosching, I think it's how it's pronounced. So I'm going to get a lot of names wrong here because it's either French, I'm not sure where exactly they're coming from. So day 1 was pretty much looking like art. And so if we look at, and then on day 2, Frederick Vesti of Prima Racing, he was the guy that was technically the fastest in the morning. It's 2 seconds quicker than most of the other guys. I think most of the other guys during that time were doing long runs, so they weren't actually going for lap times. Can't 100% sure, like I said, couldn't actually watch any of the testing, tried to find it online, couldn't find it. through my usual means of KO and the Formula 2 website. Didn't really have a full session. They just had summaries. Maybe should have watched that, and then we can go from there. And then, yeah, day 3. Looks like it was the campus of Kushmaini. He was the fastest guy of the day from campus. So, judging by going like this, I think I can't really see anything else there. So, yeah. So, basically now, this season, we've got 9 new people in the championship. I'm not sure who they are. I can't see a list of any of them. But in terms of what I can see just by judging on lap times, I think a lot of them will be getting up there. So, from what I can see, there was a few people from last year. Jack Doohan's there. I can see Arthur Leclerc. I think he's upgraded from Formula 3 up to Formula 2. Just trying to think that Enzo Fittipaldi, I think he was there last year as well. Hey, guessing, not 100% sure. Hopefully I'll try and find some more information. This was pre-recorded earlier, so yeah, just going through it. Times looks pretty much even throughout. Not much of a difference. I think day 2 there's about a 4 to 5 second difference between the slowest guys and the fastest guys. So yeah. So basically, you'll be on a journey with me and I'll be learning about all the guys and hopefully trying to figure out who's what team, the colours, that sort of stuff, and we can go from there. So that's basically my pre-season report on F2.
Okay. I'm not going to help you with the pronunciation of any of those names.
Don't worry about it.
Well, Bobby, I will help you, but I will probably be of more help if I didn't help you. So
yeah, I know that.
I'm still going to give my 2 cents of
course
input,
you will,
because I watched some YouTube videos. I think they released some today.
So yeah, hopefully this weekend I'll probably watch some of the practice and that. That way I can finally see who's driving what car, and I'll get a decent reporting for next week.
Did so Jack didn't do much in the testing? Was he?
I have no idea.
That's probably the main one we care about.
Yeah,
Jack doing in
Leclerc's
what, F1
brother,
or F2? Yeah, Arthur Leclerc, yes.
Yeah.
But he did have a good interview during the F1 testing. I think he spent close to about 35, 40 minutes talking to the guys, explaining what he wanted to do during the season, goals, learning French, that sort of stuff. Like, he went through the whole process of it. It was actually a really good interview.
He's not a bad driver. He took a little bit in F3 to kind of find his feet. But once he did, he went really well. And then same as F2, like last season, he started off a bit rusty when he started. But mid-season, he was the man to beat in qualifying. Like, he just was put times down.
Yeah, they're basically, with the podcast you recommended, with the 2 guys that previously raced in F2, they reckon he's probably going to be the qualifying king.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty good. Watching him last year was fantastic. He was just...
So hopefully we get another Aussie into F1.
Well, there's also an Aussie in F3 this year.
I'm not covering F3, so you can cover. If you want to cover F3, you can do that.
I will. I'll mention something here and there, but I can't actually find out who. I can't find his. There we go.
I hadn't heard of him before.
No, I haven't either.
Which is the problem, because I haven't been following the junior formula, so I'm not sure who kind of is coming up until they kind of hit that F3, F2.
Yeah, he's a rookie, so
Dave doesn't waste his time with these low-level drivers.
No.
He's F1 or nothing.
Well, it's without making up a heap of excuses. It gets a bit hard with work and stuff and getting in the way. It used to be so much easier when all you had to worry about was like high school or uni.
It does make a difference.
I was actually going to joke. I thought it was someone Smith.
I thought so.
It is someone Smith, and are they related?
Apparently, Jack Smith's bro. Well, that's what Max is saying.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Max is taking the piss or if there is some relation in there.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who's Jack Smith?
I don't know.
Supercars.
I think he's Pete Smith's brother.
You may not. Pete Smith's son. So Pete is actually the father of Jack.
Oh, I was just saying Pete Smith, the old radio announcer.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure his father is Pete Smith.
Tommy Smith.
Tommy Smith.
Tommy Smith.
There we go.
So
there he
I'm
is.
going
Tommy Smith.
Tommy
Van
Smith.
Ansford Racing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Van Ansford. He won the New Zealand Formula 1600 Championship and the South Island Series. He won Formula 4. No, he finished 18th. Sorry, in Formula 4 in 2018.
So that was when Formula 4 was here still.
Yeah. So he won the Australian Formula 3 champion, Victorian Formula Ocean champion.
He finished third in the F3 Asian Championship.
Yeah.
So without being... currently, he hasn't done anything.
No, he's won the Australian Formula 3 Championship. He won the Victorian Formula. So basically, he's got money.
Yeah, like with that, no offense to these guys, but it's not like he's gone to British Formula 4 or something like that.
No, nothing like that.
Yeah,
there is a good chance he'll get his ass kicked.
For sure.
Yeah.
But
you never know, though. Dan went on a bit of a different route through because I think he did an Asian series and then did.
Yeah, so
I think it was like German Formula 4 or something like that.
Possibly.
So, yeah, like Dan's was a little bit roundabout. So without knowing results, like if he's gone in and dominated those championships, that's a bit of a different matter. But you can also stroll it to the top where you're very pick and choosy. Like, I won so-and-so championship, but there was only 3 other cars in the championship and they were all my teammates and they were paid to finish second. Not saying that happened, but, you know.
You mean the Canadian way, Dave?
Jack Smith is his uncle.
Jack Smith is his uncle?
Yes, according to Wikipedia.
I wouldn't have... Jack Smith doesn't seem old enough to be an uncle, but then...
But apparently he is.
You know. Don't question our family's work. So there's one other big category racing this weekend that we haven't discussed yet, and that's IndyCar.
IndyCar.
I'll let the experts talk on that one.
Yeah,
I am excited as shit for this.
It's actually funny though. I'm more excited about IndyCar than Formula One.
Same
this weekend.
Yeah,
because there is. Pretty much Max is going to win the Formula One. IndyCar, we genuinely don't.
No. You don't know who's going to win.
The money's...
They could take the championship out, and you could be wrong as well.
Yeah.
Like, no one would have predicted Palou 2 years ago. And Power come from nowhere last year, really.
And he only won one race, didn't he?
Yeah. He's very consistent, though.
Yeah. And that's the main thing. As long as you're up the top, you should be all right.
Yeah. But you've got the 3 Penske guys. Any of them could genuinely take it out. Ganassi, Ericsson had the fortune of the 500 with double points last year. Yeah. But he was genuinely in the hunt. So realistically, you've got 3 guys at Ganassi that could win it.
Yeah. Well,
and that's, you're not even talking about, McLaren's got 2 that probably could.
Yeah.
If Andretti get their shit together, Herta could well be in the hunt.
It'd be good to see Herta back up there. It's kind of slipped back last year.
Well, the whole of Andretti kind of went backwards.
Yeah,
You've also, say if Andretti is strong this year, you've also got Grosjean.
Yeah, true.
The other 2 cars are probably...
Kyle Kirkwood, I think, could be a bit of a runner as well if he has a decent car.
I can't see him doing, say, like what Palou did.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, true. Then you also got the other 2 rookies last year.
Ilott.
No, I don't think the car's probably there, but...
No.
his new teammate, Agustin Canapino or whatever...
didn't disgrace himself.
Did he?
Didn't.
Oh, I didn't know. Well,
No.
I listened to an interview with him from last week, and he was like apologizing for his English, and he's like, I only started learning English 3 weeks ago, and he speaks better English than any of us. It was fantastic.
That's not too hard.
The bar's not set very high.
Yeah,
No.
we're not up here.
Yeah.
I'm here, like basic English.
Yeah.
And that's being generous.
That's being very generous.
Yeah.
Anyone who learns a second language or whatever, like hats off to them.
Yeah,
because that's something I can't get my head around.
Yes.
I mean, if anyone learns one language, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a fragile grasp on English, so yeah. these people, especially when you're someone, because he's in his early 30s, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
It's not like some of these guys who are going off go-karting when they're 7 or 8 or whatever, going to a different country and learning different languages, where you're more likely to take it in earlier on.
Yeah.
Have a lot better chance to start picking up English at that point. But, it's quite impressive.
Yeah.
So
we also got a new driver in this year. His name is Stingray Rob.
What?
Stingray Rob? No
Stingray
way.
Rob.
That's it.
With 2 B's on the Rob.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just leave that one.
is there anything more American?
No. He doesn't have like the big mullet, long big
He doesn't.
hair mullet. No.
Oh, wait,
He
no, she doesn't.
bean.
He looks like a kid.
He's 21.
Well, I mean,
Doesn't
he's
matter.
a kid, Bobby.
That's
He's
a
a
kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see Boovy's turning into an old man.
Yeah.
I am turning into an old. I've got greys.
These young kids.
These young whippersnappers.
David Malukas might be, or he's actually Stingray Rob's teammate this year.
Yeah.
Malukas did pretty well last year.
Well, that's the thing, and you don't know how strong a team like that's going to come out.
Yeah.
Like, Coins could have a really good year. I mean, they did with Grosjean the other year. So they could come out firing, and I can't see them go for it, but you could see Malukas take a few wins.
Yeah, true. It'd be good. It'd be good to see him have a win. I'd like to see Pato do better this year.
Definitely.
Yeah, the Lando of IndyCar.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going through the list of who's driving this year. Some of the names are familiar.
Yeah.
But really, there's probably 3/4 of the field that could actually take out a win.
Yeah.
And there's not enough races during the year for them all to have one win.
Yeah.
So there's a big...
Takuma Sato is now only doing ovals as well.
Oh, wow.
In a Ganassi car.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to be a threat for the 500.
Yeah. But how old is he now? He's in his 50s?
Oh, I think he's about 65. The problem is that between the ages of about 18 and 74, they don't age.
No.
He's 46.
All of a sudden,
that's close enough.
they just go from being an 18-year-old to an old man.
Yeah.
And there's no in-between with it. There's no gradual,
God, he's only a couple of years older than me, and Jesus Christ, I would not be able to do a whole stint in an IndyCar.
No way.
Not that I'm a peak performance here.
Rob, you are peak male fitness right there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you look like you're the lead singer of like Wolf Mother or something, but you still look like you could finish a race.
I was going to go for something a little bit softer.
Creed.
Mumford and Sons.
Mumford and Sons. Jeez. Okay.
So somehow we've made it to like 9:05 and we're still talking about normal motorsport.
Look at this. Look
Matt,
at us.
we've run out of time for Matt.
We potentially let ourselves down already this year.
Yeah.
We've become more professional.
So we're just leaving Matt for the next 20 minutes, aren't we?
Basically. It could be Matt's 20 minutes.
Yeah. We're going to sit on the couch and watch the rest of
it. Do you have some off-the-rail topics, Matt?
I have some things that I'd like to discuss and ask you questions, Dave.
Well, let's go to... We have to run the sting first, though.
Okay.
We can't just go into it. We have to. Are you ready? Yeah. It's time for Matt to take the discussion off the rails.
Here we go. The hat tells you that it's off the rails. No, I watched all of Drive to Survive, aka we're fucked next year because Dan's not in the F1, and we're really letting you know that we basically hedged our bets with him. Also, a thing that I noticed, Dave, and even I don't notice much about F1, but if you only watched Drive to Survive this year, and you went up to someone like yourself and said, "Oh, I watched this. I think I know a lot about F1." How sad is it that they're losing one of their races? Dan Ricciardo. You'd be like, "Yep, cool." And then if you said the off-the-cuff comment of, Latifi's no longer racing either, you could genuinely say, "Who was Latifi?" He's never mentioned in this show. His name appears on a screen, but he is given 0 minutes. He literally does not appear at all in the entire 10 episodes.
Did he do like what Lewis did for the first one? Where he said, I don't want to be part of this.
Well, Lewis is in it. Max is in it. Like, everyone else is in it. Even the Chinaman, who I forget his name again, he gets to sit and chat.
Yep. And they just totally ignored Latifi.
Latifi, I think there's onboard footage of him driving for about a second.
Did they show him crashing in 2021?
No, I think it was
Abu
him
Dhabi.
It's just him being slow. Like, if you didn't know he raced, you'd be convinced that there was 20 drivers, but one of them wasn't Latifi. It was
there was Nick DeVries.
Yeah. Well, he gets more time. He actually gets to sit down on the chair.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they even speak to Oscar, and they do a gag where it says Alpine, and then they change it to McLaren.
They probably made like a conscious decision at the start of the year, like, this guy's not going to be around.
Yeah.
Let's not waste time building a show around him. And, we'll focus on characters that will be around for the future, that people will care about. Whereas this one will be quickly forgotten.
Yeah.
Other than in the hearts of Manta Ray Fudd.
Yeah, Toto Ginger Spice show was still fantastic. Though Ginger Spice is now just coming off more and more as just an angry old prick. Like, he's basically now just got the we're number one, everyone hates us, so fuck is all, I'm the best, and everyone just is after me because I'm so good, and Toto's an angry old man. And then they just cut to Toto all the time. He goes, "Oh, yeah, they're cheating. They're doing this." And then they just have little chats with Ferrari. And they even asked him, like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "We're just talking about you." Because when after Singapore, when the catering stuff broke out, the whole episode is basically Christian whinging. They're like, "Oh, we didn't do anything wrong." And then cut to 5 minutes. It turns out we did something wrong. I ticked the wrong box. But he's never admitted. He goes, "Oh, we thought we were doing everything fine." And then what's his name? Zach has a go at him with that open letter. And then they, I don't know if Netflix asked F1 to do this, but they make them sit next to each other literally after the letter's announced.
at the press conference.
Yeah. So they sit down next to each other. And
they've been doing that for a while, though, even before the Netflix stuff.
Deliberately making...
Yeah, it would be more with the drivers. that they.
Oh,
yeah.
Now this
do
one
things
they
like that at
made
times.
Zach and Mr. Ginger Spice sit together while Mr. Ginger Spice just whinged that he's like, oh, this is very unprofessional. And even Zach said, he goes, if I did it, he'd be the first one ripping into me. And I think after that, Zach sort of like decided he's a part of the big boy table. Like it's Red Bull, McLaren, Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, and then he sort of just jumps on in and is like, hey guys, I'm a big team too. Can I come along and bitch about the other teams? Whereas I've noticed like Haas, Alpine, and all them, like when they lost fifth position or whatever, they were like, "Oh, well done, you did all right." Toto loses second place. He's just like, this bullshit. There's some reason why we lost, and it's not my fault. It's someone else's fault. Lewis is shot by a secret sniper, and now the engine doesn't work, and now I can't do this.
It's generally because no one cares about what Alpine's doing, or
like I think they try to make a story from it, but like Gunther and all of them are just like, we're just happy to be here. We get. I turn up. Like I think when you know that your team's fighting for like fifth, it's a lot more relaxed. Like
that pressure is off a bit. Yeah,
it's not like you're a team that won 8 in a row. And now you're not winning. It's like if you're Alpine and you came fifth, or you came seventh and now you're sixth, you look like a genius because you've outplayed another team that's obviously you've got a
beaten Perez.
Yeah, you beat Perez. you get to have a little trophy with your name on it that says I beat Perez. But yeah, they obviously love having Dan on the show, and you can I think.
But I think that's as well. Episode. Yeah, that's as well. Like to focus a bit on the American market, I think too.
Oh yeah,
because
but like
they see him as a personality.
Yeah, they're going to be kind of screwed next year when they're going to lose. I'd say about 40 minutes now of just Dan B-roll footage of him just drawing dicks on the back of Lando Norris. Him just drawing, tell him to fuck them all. Him just driving. Like, clearly,
The hard thing long term, though, as well, because this whole Netflix Drive to Survive thing is based kind of on the American market, that it kind of came at a time with COVID and whatever where people binge watching things like that. And it had that initial explosion. The problem's going to be the saturation.
Yeah, but too much.
There's too many races. And you get a peak of how many people are actually going to watch, something that's not in American time to watch. They're not going to invest, watching these European races at 6 o'clock in the morning or whatever. And whatever Manta Ray Fudd is doing is very distracting on the camera.
Creepy eyes.
Playing with his filters.
What? It's natural.
You look like one of those creepy dolls that people have in their room.
The doll's still looking at me.
But yeah, basically, Dave, it's going to be very interesting next year when they don't have. I think they're really hoping for who are the two that told each other to suck their balls after a race?
That was Magnussen and Hülkenberg.
Holcomb, they're basically hoping that the fact that those two fight each other, I think.
Well, the other problem that's going to come along as well, because all jokes aside, Lewis is on, a shorter period of time that he's going to be. Like, he's getting towards the end of his career. And then who's coming up that's got that kind of out there personality? Like, you've got Lando.
He's all right.
I really like Albon, but
he didn't get a lot of time either.
Yeah, and the problem is because in a Williams, you're not going to get that kind of exposure unless you're really kind of out, and he's not enough of a personality. Say Dan in a Williams is a different kind of kettle of fish, but Albon in a Williams doesn't get. If Albon was still at Red Bull, it would probably be a bit of a different story.
Yeah, you can tell that they clearly like gravitate to people that will give them footage, and basically their 90% of their footage is just going to Toto and Mr. Ginger Spice, and then
both of them react, and then you've got
Exactly.
on the flip side, you go down the back of the field because you get the reaction from Gunter that they want.
I think Gunter's just
not
so happy that he's like the new cult happy figure. Like if him and Dan were a team, they probably wouldn't win much, but they would corner most of the American market because you've got, an Australian that turns up to in a race on a horse, and then Gunter who's just happy to, drink wine and have a coffee every so often when he, gets on the little interview chair.
And have a proper reaction to things.
Yeah, exactly.
How a normal person would react at work when something goes wrong.
I still reckon at the end of it, Toto and Ginger Spice will be friends in like 10 years' time, and they'll just because they won't care.
Like Webber and Vettel. As soon as you took the competition away, all of a sudden they were friends, and apparently the same like Senna and Prost. As soon as Prost retired, Senna was like talking to him about life and wanting to be best friends, kind of thing.
But that happens in a lot of sports. You'll have people that won't talk to each other. I'm not going to name a sport, but England and Australia play each other in this sport, and afterwards,
Formula One.
Yeah, Formula One. So they play. It's called the Formula Ones. Yeah. And they played every 2 years, once in England and once in Australia.
No, they have the British Grand Prix every year in the Australian Grand Prix.
Yeah, basically it's that. Yeah, but like at the end of that, they'll end up becoming on commentary teams, and then they'll like, remember when we played, did this? In
exactly.
Yeah, because you take that competition on, like you hate each other because you're on different teams. As soon as you take that,
in 10 years' time, that Mr. Ginger Spice tells Toto, "I actually knew I broke the salary cap. I knew it all along. Fuck you all."
See, I'm still of the belief on that one that they genuinely thought they were under.
No, I think they were too. I think it sounded like they thought what they were doing was correct.
Yep. And that's probably why, like, they've had to come down hard on them, but that's why they didn't get kicked out, because it was more a fuck up rather than a genuine cheat. But I would have liked if they actually came out and said, like, okay, Red Bull spent 145,400 or whatever. What did Mercedes spend? Were they at like Were they at 140 and had a big buffer in there, or were they at 144.9? Kind of thing.
Well, who knows? What was it when Zach was talking about it? He was like, because he was making the jokes about the catering thing. He was like, "Oh, it's a couple more olives on a bit of bread," and it would be good to see what they all spent, like a breakdown, just so you can tell.
Yeah,
because I highly doubt that it would have been. They were spending money. Look, when he said, "Oh, they spend money on this and that could be a, improvement." If you're spending an extra 400K, I think they worked it out. It was 400K. That sounds to me like a well-catered tent at one F1 race. Like that sounds like you've catered well for Melbourne, and you've underestimated how much food you ordered or whatever. It's not like you secretly bought a new test track or a better turbo or something. You essentially bought crab meat.
Yeah, well, some of the stuff that they got in trouble for were, say, like front wings that they built but never used. And they said, but we never used those, so they shouldn't be part of the cost cap. They're saying, but you built them for that year to run as spares. So that's part of it. It's as simple as, like, you're talking $100,000 or whatever for a front wing.
Yeah, but if you built that wing and you got better at building the wing, I'd imagine you should get in trouble for that. Yeah. Like if your technique of it got better, it just means next year when you do need to build your 6 new wings, you've already built 8. You built 8 of them that you weren't using, but at least now you've got the practice to build these wings at a better tolerance or something. And you probably should get in trouble for that. Even if you didn't use them, you still learn from it. But it was fun. I think most of the episodes, I think most of them are just going with the same formula. Speak to each team, follow them around. We've run out of footage. Run up to Toto, tell him that Christian told him his hair looks stupid or he dyes his hair. Quickly run to Gunther, and then if we need any more footage, just get Dan to come in and we'll ask him some stupid questions because we don't really need, we've got enough this episode.
Yeah. Do we get to see actual Ginger Spice and Susie Wolf in this one?
Actual Ginger Spice gets more speaking lines than I'd say the bottom 5 F1 drivers. She actually genuinely asks questions. It's actually.
Are they like Matt questions or?
No, one of them's really, really harsh. So she pretty much says like, "Oh, Checo's really good. Like he's helping the team." And then Mr. Ginger Spice pretty much sums it up and goes, "Yeah, but if he's shit, he can fuck off." Like he just doesn't like. It wasn't that blunt, but like you could tell Jerry was trying to be like real polite. He goes, "Yeah, but he did really well for us last year." He goes, "Yep, but if he's no good, I can go." Like you'd think, just read the room and just be like, "No, he did very well."
Yeah.
He helped Max win his title, but he's just like, "Nah, business." That's why I got Dan, and that's what he's. And then there's footage of her like walking around and like she's in the pits a couple of times. Tom Cruise makes an appearance.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is he
running? As F1 movie?
No, he was just standing next to Toto. He has more speaking roles than about 3 or 4 of the F1 drivers. It is pretty amazing who gets to speak and who doesn't. Like I think the pit crews talk more than some of the F1 drivers.
What does everyone think about these upcoming movies, like the Brad Pitt movie? Is it just going to be crap like every other motorsport movie, or?
I have no idea.
It'll be stupid.
Yeah, because they're trying to now cash in on like the whole Netflix Formula One thing at the moment.
Yeah.
Whereas like Rush was done really well because it's
historic.
It's towards a documentary, and it is a really good story, and it was done really well.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of dramatization, but it was also done. I'm trying to Henry Winkle or whatever was it? No, which is the
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard.
Yeah,
he's a motorsport fan or whatever as well. Like Whereas these guys are just going like, "Hey, Formula One's popular. Let's make a Formula One movie."
Let's make a Formula One movie where if the car goes below 150, downtown blows up. So put Johnny McSpeed in there and he'll race around.
Well, we got it's probably not going to be as bad as Driven, but...
Well, that was bad.
That's so good.
It seems like the story's going to be...
I know, Rob, I can tell you, in one of these movies, the driver's wife will be pregnant. Yep. And she's worried about his safety and their son growing up without a dad. I'm predicting that. And then there'll be another guy who used to be friends
in modern
with him.
F1.
No, but there'll be another one, Rob, where the driver used to be friends with another guy and he sold out and joined the bigger evil team. And Brad's Pitt one will make a reference to like Red Bull being the evil one because he's been hanging out with Tom Cruise one has been hanging out with McLaren, Mercedes. So the evil team will be a Blue Ox team. I'm calling it now. and they all meet up in the final championship race. And remember, Rob, as we've learned from other movies, when you wave the checkered flag, it means 1 lap to go.
Yes. That should be the title, like the motto of our stream.
What, when the checkered flag's up, there's 1 lap to go.
Yeah.
when the checkered flag waves, it's time for Matt to start.
Yeah.
It just means multi-ball in F1 form.
Might have to put a checkered flag in your splash screen.
I think so.
Have one of the drivers just wave a checkered flag.
Yeah.
Well, hasn't the plot for one of them, the Tom Cruise one or whatever, been released, and it's essentially Days of Thunder's storyline, where you've got a young hot shoe coming in, and
I thought the Brad Pitt one was pretty much the same as Driven. Like it's young hot shot guy comes out of retirement.
Oh, it's the same as
guy comes out of retirement to train him and show him the ropes. And
all they could do is get Sylvester Stallone to do it.
It's pretty much the story of Alonso.
That'd be the best.
It's pretty much the story of Alonso.
Dave,
You could get Alonso to act.
Kevin Costner. Just need another old fart who owns a team.
Yeah,
he's an English guy, but he has an American accent.
Yeah. have just a bunch of old people.
Apparently, Hamilton's associated. I don't know, but Hamilton's apparently associated with the Brad Pitt one. Pitt one.
So they'll all have gold chains and
yeah.
But Dave, it'll be carbon neutral.
Phew. That's what I always look for in my movies.
Carbon
At the
neutrality.
end of it, you'll say this movie was carbon neutral
and vegan friendly.
Trees were harmed in the filming,
and no meat was eaten on set. It was all tofu steaks.
Yep.
Yeah. Phew. All right.
Anything else, Matt?
Well, no e-scooter news now. That's why I watched all of the Drive to Survive.
Yep.
You're going to watch the golf one for next week because we don't talk about golf on here.
Drive to Survive.
Yeah, Drive.
No, it was wasn't
More
it
Drive
Swing?
to Survive.
Wasn't it called Swing or something?
Yeah, something like that.
I think
apparently it's going to be a tennis one too.
Yeah, they've already made one, haven't they?
I think so.
Yeah, they already made one, and
confused.
everyone that was in it got cursed and didn't make it out of like the second round.
What are these other things that we're talking about?
More ball and stick games, Dave.
I don't understand other sports.
When they going to do a V8 Supercars one?
This is the cycler.
They've kind of done V8 Supercars ones.
But they do like... But they do...
They've had the inside line the last few years.
Oh, okay. But that's only that's based on one team, isn't it?
Yeah. They did do some filming last year of a Drive to Survive type thing and chopped it around. But I haven't heard anything whether it's gone any further or not.
Yep.
At the moment.
Okay.
So, because they want someone to pay for it.
Of course they do.
So they made like a pilot, and they're hoping that someone like Netflix or whatever will take it up or whatever and do the filming production because it is quite expensive to do it properly. Like Drive to Survive would be big because they have big camera crew and that there all the time.
They have heaps of cameras. If you notice in the show, I think they give like a lot of the drivers a bunch of GoPros as well to record. Just random, like when they're in Japan, Gasly and Little PlayStation. A bunch of you can see it. Oh, you can see a bunch of GoPros connected up to the car, and then like they're holding one.
Matt needs to touch his GoPro properly.
No, he's having. It's almost like a localized earthquake in Coburg.
Yeah.
Oh no, I keep hitting the laptop.
With the hat backwards, he's just gone. Off the rails.
He's going off the rails. Yep.
IndyCar's got their Drive to Survive coming out at some point. 100
days to Indy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Are we going to be able to watch that here, or?
Yeah, somehow.
I'll find a way.
There will be a way. We'll be watching it here.
We'll watch
because that's a CBS or something's doing that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Vice
and Penske
what's
Entertainment
Vice?
and Vice Media Group. Yeah.
What's Vice Media Group?
CW Network.
There you go.
Yeah. CW.
I thought there was a C in there somewhere.
Yeah, that'll come out one day.
Not 100 days out from Indy.
No. You'd hope not.
But apparently they're filming it now.
They just release an episode every day for 100 days till Indy.
Yeah, well, that would be just follow around Newgarden and McLaughlin.
Like for 100 days, like when he goes and buys milk and bread, just be like, that's been an episode of 100 Days for Indy.
And just throw in Malukas.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Watch out for tomorrow's episode when Newgarden does his taxes. That'll be a 20-minute episode.
Gets a haircut. All right.
That was fun.
I think that was a good week.
Yeah.
We had a good.
You did all right.
No one wore a beanie. That was good.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll give ourselves a pat on the back.
Yep. Well done.
Welcome to 2023.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week.
Yes.
Hopefully we can keep up the high standards.
For more fun. Hopefully the show, everyone enjoyed the high quality show.
Yeah, we improved at least 3% over summer testing.
It's an improvement.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are like the Austin Martin of our podcasts. We've improved.
Improvement's an improvement.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We are the Williams of podcasts.
And on that note, we'll see you next week.
See ya.
See yous.
Yeah.